Welcome and thank you for joining. This video will be a tutorial about a dynamic mathematics software called GeoGebra. If you remember at the beginning of semester, I mentioned that we will be using both Desmos and GeoGebra to explore various concepts in calculus and vectors course. And I think that we are pretty confident at using Desmos because we've used it in the advanced functions course and prior to that to complete various activities and a lot of assessments as well. Whereas GeoGebra is a sort of a newer thing to us. We haven't used it in class as often. And I thought that it would be useful if we went over a few instructions, so prepare a tutorial for us to be able to navigate it and enjoy navigating it. Why not? Okay, so how do we access GeoGebra? Well, I've linked both Desmos and GeoGebra on the nav bar of our online classroom. But if you click at the one that is posted on our classroom, it will take you to my account because I have linked it to my account. Now, as you can see in here, you won't be able to see anything at the moment, and that is because for you to have access to the assignments and activities, I have to provide you with a link. It works pretty much the same as in Google Drive, where you have to share a link or make it public in order for other people to see it. And unlike in Desmos, where we create a class and we're all in the same class working on the same activity, in GeoGebra we have to work on the same link. So it's a little bit more individualized this way. So very soon you will be able to see your assignments as I assign them to you. But if you want to access GeoGebra so you can play around with it and navigate it on your own, that's my most favorite way to learn, not just following instructions. Sometimes it helps when you follow your own thinking and your own path there. What you want to do is you open up a new page and simply type geogebra.org. And that will take you to the GeoGebra website. As you can see in here, it is prompting you to start a calculator. And this is what gives you access to graphing functions. Now, before you start, you probably want to create an account so that you can you'll be able to save your work. And look at the screen, and I'd like you to kind of check and see how you can create the account. Well, here we go. I'm going to click on sign in, and when I click on sign in, it gives me the option to sign in with the account or create one. So if you want to create an account, that's what you do here. So you enter your email, your username, and you can create more than one account. So I would suggest that you create one account for fun if you wish, and one account which has to be your TDSB account for to use in our classroom. So because that will be the account that I know, and that will be the account I will share my lessons with. So this is one way of accessing GeoGebra. So from the website, so for online. But another nice and convenient way to access it is through an app. So, and you can download this on your phone as well, obviously. So you go to apps and then you simply add the GeoGebra app in there. And similarly, you do the same thing on if you have an Android phone. But I'm an Apple person, so there you go. So everything is Apple here. And once you get on the app, you're going to see that you have a few things that you may want to explore here. So number one, you can click on this plus sign, and that will give you, and it will ask if you want to add an expression or a text. And you have geometry here as well. Look at the lot of topics that are covered here, a lot of tools provided. So drawing various objects, drawing vectors, that's what we want to work with very soon, plotting specific points, and then you have tables of values as well. Now, if you click on this, you have options very similar to Desmos. So you can open up a new page, you can share whatever you create, you can export images. It will work slightly differently on a tablet or on the phone compared to a computer, and that's common sense. That's the way it works. But the ways they work are quite intuitive. You can make the connections very easily. So another thing you want to do is click on the settings here and set the screen or set GeoGebra page to your liking. So you can show the axis or you can make the axis disappear. I like to show the axis. You can show the grid or make it disappear. You can make the size of the grid as much, as large as you want or as small as you want. So you can make it very small. You can make set it to major grid lines. You can set the different types of grids, so a polar grid or isometric grid. I'm going to leave it to major grid lines and point capturing. I like to to select the snap to grid, but explore it. Check and see what one or the other does. And here is how wide you want each unit to be, so the distance of length on the x and the y axis, and various labels. So if you want to call the axis x and y, or you want to call it v and t, so it depends. So algebra, auxiliary objects, I have turned that off, and there are a lot of things that I am still exploring myself. So always allow yourself to learn more, learn from each other, learn in class, learn everywhere basically. So when it comes to the selections in here, so you want to you want to click and check and see what each of them means, and it will give you more information when you are on the computer. But there are a lot of specific items in here. For example, rounding. So do you want to round how many decimal places when you are exploring points? Or do you want the coordinates to be in what kind of settings? So x comma y or x slash y. So do you want a semicolon or do you want the equal sign? So the next thing that you can check in here is the size. I like to keep it at 14. I like to be a decent size, not too small, not too big. And this is where I will share my disappointment with you. I try to select the language to English, Canada, and there is no option for it. So come on, GeoGebra, we exist and we love you. So anyways, we are going to move on now to graphics here, and we already explored this. Okay, perfect. So this is how we explore the settings. So I'm gonna click on the engine, the settings engine in here again, so that I can go back to where I was, and I will click again and I will click again until I get to my main screen in here. Now it is best that I explain how to use GeoGebra here on the website. So what I'm gonna do is I will log on to my account. Oh goodness. And it's okay, I change this all the time. Here we go. And here we go. We have arrived to my homepage in here. And what I see in this case is the GeoGebra page. I'm on my account, but what I want to do is get to the calculator. So what I'll do is I'll go to the waffle. You see the waffle on the top right hand corner, and I'm gonna click on graphing calculator.